Oh yeah, we're back. So unlike Apple, which abandoned the airport lineup as well as iTunes, we're back with a new reaction video. Now, I guess you could say that I took a bit of an extended break from the last reaction videos because, it's been like, at least as of when I'm recording this, probably like over half a year at this point since the last one was made. I will say that if you look back at the first ones, yeah, it's a bit rough. There's a lot I can improve upon, and I did slightly improve with every new reaction video that I made, but before the first one, I haven't made any reaction video at all. So yeah, it is still a bit of a learning experience, and considering it's been so long since I last made one, I kind of have to get back into the reaction style format here. Now, the audio setup is, probably a bit interesting because I have all of this going on here, but we are using a 2006 Mac Pro, so it just makes the experience even more authentic because apart from the reaction videos, the channel is all about old tech. It's also exactly why we're using an iPhone 5S to record today's video. Now, if you're complaining about the video quality, you should be glad that it's in 1080p. I was going to use an iPhone 4, but we're starting off with an iPhone 5S just to get back into the rhythm of things. And I will also say that partially why I took so long to get back into reaction videos is because I was reacting to the same style of content. So living in the 2000s, using 2000s tech, it kind of got old real fast, and because I was making them one after another, I guess you could say I got a little bit burnt out, but like I said, we're back. Now, because you guys really seemed to enjoy the previous reaction videos, I figured why not try to also expand further into other tech content, not just the challenge style videos, but actually watch something entertaining such as Slop Time, or I guess Slop Edition. So this video is Tech That Let Me Down Slop Edition from DankPods, and based on my YouTube analytics, it seems like a lot of you guys also watch him. For many of you, he doesn't need any introduction. He has over 1.81 million subscribers as of when I'm recording this, and he's the funny iPod Australian guy, so yeah. Now, I know this video is a bit older because at this point it's been 3 weeks since he uploaded this, but again, because I want to get back into the reaction style content, I figured it would make more sense to use a video like this and not like a completely brand new upload because I'm still going to have to edit this and it'll take me a while to get to it, so it's not like, I'm trying to get this upload immediately posted on YouTube, but it is better than nothing, so yeah, so basically he's made a couple of these videos where it's, tech that let me down, tech that hasn't let me down. In this case, it's probably the most extreme because it's slop time. And with all of this excellent commentary out of the way, I'm going to close out of iTunes because this will stay on screen even in full screen. By the way, I'm also using the Yeticaster again, so we have that nice, crispy, high-definition audio. So even when the video quality is in 640 by 480, at least we will have good audio as well as a direct sound output from the Mac itself. So also, if there are any jump cuts in between the video itself, sorry about that. Most likely it'll be because of advertisements or something like that. Now, while the advertisement part is true, there's also a matter of a severe desync between the video file and the audio file. Now, it doesn't happen immediately, it's kind of like a gradual thing, so I'm having to go in here and manually change everything, which is just, I'm gonna have to figure out a better recording solution for the future. It is salvageable, but this just makes it even more difficult to work with. Hopefully it isn't super noticeable. I'm trying to make it as good as possible, so I'm just letting you guys know. Is it partially my fault? Yes, but like I said, this is the first reaction video I've made in quite a while, and I just need to figure out a better recording solution. It took me a while just to get the audio down, and it still isn't perfect, at least with the Mac Pro side of things, but this clearly tells me that I need a better solution. Maybe I will actually use a screen recording. I don't know, I'm just gonna have to wait and see. But now, on to the video. It's Slop Edition time.
Oi! Who took my chomp away? Well, another year is here, and reflecting on the last year of tech, it certainly was one of the years of all time. Look, everyone's grumbling about tech because it's terrible. But don't worry, look,
this
we'll
is
do
true.
Right, well, we're going to show something good. and then we'll look at something bad. Something good, look at these audio gubbins. All these things have been...
Speaking of audio, like I said, 2006 Mac Pro still works just fine.
Sweet. You haven't heard me talk about Theo for a hot minute? Because I'm still loving what I've...
This has always been hilarious because it's literally just a brick.
Already got. Like this M17, this does everything I want from a music player. It's like the most ultimate iPod of iPods.
It's so
Huge
crazy.
Stinky power to run any headphones. Look at all the headphone holes it's got. I can grab anything I want and just put it in. I love this case, even though it's technically scratching the screen every time I put it in and out, but it's fine. It even comes with a bespoke power supply to get even more out of it, and I honestly nearly never use.
It's so crazy how this is just a portable device, but it's basically like the entire receiver from a 90s setup.
Is it because what it's got is honestly heaps. Oh, and shout out to Theo build quality. This is James's old BTR5, like
what happened to this?
the nug of nugs. It's meant to look like this, by the way. But what happened was this was sitting in the
Let me guess, it got cooked. Literally.
car during an Australian summer. I think it was a year ago. You know, and we hit like a cool like 47 that day or
Oh, you know, just normal weather.
something. Yeah, and the battery inside expanded and went poof and blew this screen out. Well, as I should, like glass cup.
It reminds me of like seeing an old iPhone 4 with nothing but just the display and the logic board.
Because that's the screen there. So James yanked the battery out of it, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with it.
It still works.
Yeah, now it's just a dongle deck. So this is still a useful piece of audio equipment. Yeah, Theo! My little i-Fi was a Go Blue. Use this all the time. I love that it's got the...
It's always interesting to see what kind of audio equipment he just has, because here I am using, you know, a ridiculous audio setup on the Mac Pro, and he just has all of this.
Big balanced output, that's my favorite. And I love this little wheel, it's got clickies in it. This topping MX5. You can just plug this USB into your computer, and now you've got a really smelly headphone amp.
That would be pretty cool, but I think at this point I'd probably rather get like a 90s or a 2000s receiver for my setup here. That's kind of like the whole point. We're stuck in the past, but this is still really cool.
Like the power supply for this, it's the size of this, and boy does it get hot. But what I wanted from this, yes, that's old school speakers. I've got some old 80s floor stands.
Whoa, check out the wood grain on these. This is a certified LGR moment.
That I love. I've been dragging around for 10 years, and yeah, this is so I can plug them into my computer. Oh, and speaking of dongle DACs, what if you just bought a dongle DAC? This was just to shut up the crappy headphone out the computer.
Sound Blaster. I actually do have a couple of old Sound Blaster cards, but I haven't seen anything modern from Sound Blaster in a long time.
And it's just and USB noises. Something Macs do really good is
oh yeah, let me just open up Quack real quick.
They usually have silent headphone jacks. USB is kind of a nightmare for keeping noise down because it's usually the USB that's making the noise. But these are cheap. Plug them in, and it works for me. So it's not just that the internet is just a
AI slop time.
Just hallucinations. I've had AI lie about me. I'm so glad a lot of stuff that I like is old, so I can
honestly, yeah, true.
Can actually find paper references for information. I want to know more about my old S-Class Mercedes.
1979. That's how you know this is before AI slop.
Mate, 1979 edition of Wheels magazine. This was the Aussie car mag. Still is. And this is the best bit about doing it this way. Oh, panel van!
Whoa.
Not only do I get to learn about the car, I'm learning the vibe it existed in. Look, like these are all brand new machines. There it is.
The late 70s, early 80s graphics are just, I mean, they just hit different.
So many cigarette ads in this thing. And stuff like this. These just specifications outlined like...
Nowadays, you'd be lucky to find any information like this, at least depending on what it is and how old it is, because most of the time it's just AI slop overview.
This. Nuggets! This is a full-page ad for that radio right there. That thing you wouldn't have for free. Seriously, if you want to learn about stuff, we have to go old school. Books,
This is, again, why I am stuck on old macOS, because It just works.
Magazines? Like, for drum stuff, it's impossible to find anything, and Modern Drummer has been just a tome. Look, it's Questlove back in '05. Full-blown article written up. I get to learn about the gear, which is like learning about a racing car driver's car, Well, this is really important for my drum thing that I'm working on, because
I think you can actually still find, like, archives of old magazines and information like this on archive.org. So at least there's that.
I've got Modern Drummer's catalog back to the 70s. I pay for the subscription. I've found the originals, and I've got digital copies of every single page. And I've gone in and, like, every single page have noted what's on it.
So he basically made his own custom search engine
to make my own database. Honestly, when AI was getting really popular and my first goes at searching with it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to find a new way. Modern operating systems, Apple
There used to be a time when you could just use Google as is.
And Windows, I can't even search to find pages out of these. If I search Questlove into my computer, it'll show me 10,000 things that have nothing to do with anything that I want.
Again, back when Spotlight was good, and you had Launchpad as a separate thing.
PDFs, stuff from mail, like web searches, nothing. The only OS that actually just shows it to me, Linux. So, like, to sort through all my stuff and all the study I'm doing has to be on Linux. I cannot find a single thing.
I don't know how many times I'm going to say it. I'm stuck on old macOS for a reason.
On modern OSs. It's and, like, this isn't even the internet. This is, like, my things on a computer. Can't find them.
Wow, a good thing.
So, I like gaming. And the controller I've been using is the Xbox controller I pinched from that horrifically disappointing Xbox One X. I just synced that to the computer, and it just chowed.
There used to be a time when Xbox was good. I don't know if Xbox is ever going to recover now, but it was also when Microsoft was still Microsoft and not Microslop.
It started getting gross. I'm sick of throwing stuff out. I'm going to get a really, really nice controller, and through all my reading, all these videos and stuff, FlyDigi Apex 4. I got this, I think, when
the translucent housing itself is pretty cool.
5 had just come out. And so they were doing a sale on these. Man, I was all in. This is the only Bluetooth I can stand when it's like a little dongle like this.
Honestly, yeah, the dongle way for, like, receivers and stuff like that, like with the Logitech stuff, as long as it's paired to one device, or like with the Logitech accessories, you can actually add more devices to it. It's all offline. It's just, made to work with specific devices. This is acceptable, but you just have to make sure that you don't lose it.
Because then it literally just talks and works, as long as you don't lose this.
Yeah.
Or break this. But I do like that it really is just a normal USB-C controller. You don't even need to use it. Boom, there you go, now it's cabled. These are pretty heckin' expensive, but this is my favorite controller so far. Because watch this.
Whoa.
See these little pots here? You pull out this, that's a key. So you can tune
a built-in
how
key?
tight you want these sticks to be. You can have
But is it gonna have stick drift?
one floppy and one super tight. I've dialed these in. I like a little bit of resistance. And look, it's all just magnets. How do they work? Everything only goes on one way. And it's not an enthusiast product unless it's got RGB. I think it's RGB. Oh, look, it's complaining that there's no input. You can really play around with this screen if you care. I don't. It is actually just nice having it tell me how.
I think the only display I'd rather have on a controller is like the re-released Duke controller for the Xbox. I mean, it's completely useless, but it does look cool.
How much battery's left? And that's it. The difference is just huge. The slightest movement and your character reacts to it, and they're less likely to drift. If you don't know what controller drift is, just speak to your Nintendo Switch.
Okay, modern, yes. The modern stuff? Slop. Yes, we only have Microsoft here, not Microslop.
Windows is just a gimme. It's spyware now. It's terrible, ad-riddled spyware. Hey, hot take. 10 was never good.
I pretty much skipped out on most of the Windows 10 era. I stayed on Windows 7 for as long as possible, and then I just downgraded to even older OSs.
10 was never good. This channel was born on a computer that I built myself, running Windows 10 with a 2700 and an RTX 2070.
The only thing I really use Windows 10 for nowadays is just to have modern Windows, but most of the time I'm still using my ancient, like, desktops and Core 2 Duo systems, and It's honestly surprising how usable some of these old systems really are.
In it, and that's what I was using to edit these first videos. I was Mac
That
until
must have been
iCloud
rough.
destroyed all my Dankmas music, and that's why I can't upload it again anywhere else. And then I went Windows, and I lasted a year and went back. Windows Adobe combination, it's impossible.
Old Adobe is good. New Adobe, that's a no from me.
It doesn't work. I was offended at Microsoft when I was paying like $280 for a Windows 10 license, right? I was doing it legit, and there were ads in the start bar. Ads, and you're all surprised that Windows is worse than ever. 7 was the last good one. And
Yeah.
now Windows barely functions. You know, you ask it to shut down. Done it, can't do it. Update and shut.
You can't shut it down because you have updates or you have other ridiculous stuff. Fortunately, because Windows 10 isn't being as updated as it once was, it's slightly more usable now.
Down, impossible. It's slopware. But the thing is, if you
Yeah.
want a game the best, it's always been Windows. That's been your only choice.
I mean, Mac gaming does exist, but the real peak of Mac gaming was probably in the PowerPC era. There is a lot of stuff available for early Intel as well, including the Valve titles, but it has always been a Windows, like a mainly Windows only thing.
Which is ending nowadays. Apple's on that slippery slope. They're technically making
Yeah,
the best
they're
machines
starting
they
to
ever
fall
have. Ever
off.
since the M processors, incredible.
If I'm gonna get an M series system, it's gonna be the M1, and I'm gonna keep it on Big Sur because honestly, I don't see any point in upgrading past Big Sur.
But you can't fix them. Like, you have problems, you chuck them in the bin. That's why my main computer is at Nitro 5. I can change the storage, the RAM, the Wi-Fi card, anything. I put off getting the latest macOS because my machine works and
Exactly. It works. Yeah, macOS line from 2011 still works.
everything's fine. I relented, got the new macOS, and then while I was editing a huge Linux video, as soon as I updated the OS, all of a sudden, I wasn't able to open up footage that I just converted myself.
That's the one thing that's really annoying, at least when you're using different Final Cut versions, is that you have to update it to the newer version, and you can't really downgrade. It is technically possible, but it is way more like work compared to updating it, which is why, like I said, I'm probably going to stay on Big Sur. If I update it to something newer, then all the libraries have to get upgraded, or I have to downgrade my system to Big Sur again, because basically I would be cooked.
I just run it through Handbrake, and now it's going like, this is unsigned. I don't know what this is. I can't open this. It's risk to your computer. I thought macOS was looking like Vista's Aero, and now it's giving us the same vibes of going, you can't do anything. No.
Yeah, Vista did have a lot of, hold on, are you sure you want to open this moments?
No, don't you do that. A big reason I do all my editing on Mac is that, for the most part, it's just either that or Windows. We'll talk about Linux in a bit. And it just feels like the grown-up in the room running Adobe through Mac. That's how it felt.
And that is why I'm going to still continue to use Adobe Photoshop CS4 for thumbnails, because I literally have no point in using a newer version. It does everything that it needs to do, and it's going to continue to work on my 2012 iMac. No updates, no nonsense. It's all offline.
And that's actually when I started Garbage Time, because now I wasn't spending all my time troubleshooting footage to get stuff to even work. That's how much extra time I had. I can edit for a completely different YouTube channel. And then when I moved to Final Cut and just made it all Apple and finally got away from Adobe, it took me now I'm doing gaming channels.
I still don't understand how you can regularly use Adobe but always have to pay for the subscription.
Stuff, and I am working on drum stuff. I still am, I swear. Yeah, it saved that much time just dumping Windows and Adobe. But the end days are coming.
The moment I saw this is just peak fell off, because Creator Studio, no.
The thing I love about Apple is that you can just buy the software outright.
This is why I have archives of pretty much all the old Mac software I could want, because as long as you have it on your system, you can use it.
I know it's like $500 for Final Cut, but I've been using the same license for half a decade. I've been using the same license of Logic Pro for easily a decade. I'm still able to jump in, use it, get updates. Like, it's amazing. 1 year of Adobe is more than $500.
Exactly, it's ridiculous.
And you own nothing at the end of it except for headaches. And people saying just use DaVinci on Linux. You use DaVinci on Linux. Again, we'll get to that. But the end times are coming. They're now offering all these productivity apps as a subscription. And then people go, oh, but don't worry. It's going to be fine because they still offer a paid version if you want it. Yeah, for now.
I mean, hopefully it doesn't go away like the actual standalone releases, but Again, another advantage of using Big Sur is that even though there's newer versions of Final Cut, I don't have to worry about updates or other nonsense like that because it's basically stuck in the past, but in a good way.
It's the end days. Yeah, subscriptions creeping in and they're going to phase that away. $500 gets you like half a year of Adobe. Apple's looking at that money just going, I have a plan. Something magical has happened, which is that I don't need a faster computer anymore. I only
Yeah, the M series chips could honestly last forever, probably.
plan on doing 4K 60. No more than that. 4K is so stinky. If I want better...
I mean, he's talking about 4K, and here I am with 1080p at my, like, highest resolution, so I think I would be set with, even with the lowest M series chipset, considering I can still use my 2012 Mac Mini, which isn't even the i7 model.
quality, I'll get a better camera. It's why I did. But the actual amount of frames...
And that's why I'm gonna stay stuck in the past with my ancient iPhones and eventually older camcorders.
that I need to edit, that ain't changed. And what I've noticed is my M3 Max, which I've been using for the last 2 years, it's like perfect.
It's crazy how, like, something like the M3 series is already considered old because there's the M4 and the M5. This is way more performance than you would probably ever need.
Perfectly great. It's all the power I need. If I want to make more content, that's on me and my time management. And I'm working as hard as I can, I swear. I'm the bottleneck. And then finding out that an M4 Pro Mac Mini has more power than the M3 Max. Honestly, I'm going to pull the trigger on...
Yeah, at this point, it's not the limit of how fast the computer is, it's how fast you can physically make the video.
2 little Mac Minis with M4 Pros. I'd like to wait for the M5 Pro, but the price might double by then. Yeah, and I'm going to still...
By the time it's M whatever series, I might upgrade to like a slightly newer Mac Mini, or if we want to get really fancy, use like a 2012 Mac Pro.
Logic Pro, Final Cut, all the plugins, all my main assets, and I'm going to rip the internet out of it.
I probably would have still stayed on Mojave, but I upgraded to Big Sur a while back, so it's what I'm using, it's what works well.
And never touch it again. This thing that's capturing DankPods as we speak is a machine running Windows 10 that's unplugged from the internet. It captures 4K 60. We're done. What do we need updates for?
Exactly. What do you need updates for?
Hey, the stories of people finding these like ancient computers still in an industrial
8-bit guy. Shout out 8-bit guy.
environment because it's plugged into a CNC machine and needs to cut circles. And an old VIC-20 can cut circles. And so it's been working for 40 years because it still cuts good circles. Why replace it? Thanks to this M3 Max, I now know how much performance...
He basically is saying what I'm saying. It just still works. Why am I going to replace macOS Lion if it still works?
I actually need. I'm getting 2 because I'm going to live out of one of them, and the day it dies, we'll put the other one in. But I'm going to do everything I can to keep that first one running. I'm going to get them both set up and then put one back in the box. There's no batteries to rot out. There's nearly no guts inside them all anyway. That's how I'm dealing with the emborkification.
The hardware side of Apple has gotten so good, but the software, yeah.
As always keep saying, well, just edit on Linux and then off you go. All right, perfect timing. Take that's let me down.
Linux time.
I love Linux. Serious, I love Linux. My most important, all my treasured personal data, my like old photos and like my old uni assignments and
Who would have guessed? I use macOS for that stuff as well.
like voice record, like, you know, really personal stuff. None of it lives in the cloud. Absolutely no.
Yeah, I don't use any cloud services either. Streaming is obviously, you know, an exception with things like YouTube. Everything I have is all on mechanical hard drives and in some cases SSDs because it's all local.
No, I got a big Ubuntu Linux box. It's just a tower full of hard drives. It's got 4 hard drives in it in pairs. All of them have been encrypted, so you need a password to even look at them. Not even a RAID 5. I want rock and stick levels of reliability. I want to be able to pull any...
It would be pretty cool to have like a multiple hard drive server setup. The laptop style drives that I have within my Hackintosh server still work for now, so I still have a ways to go in terms of upgrading my storage solutions, but at least I'm making use of what I do have.
drive out and put it in any other Linux box, put in the code, and get my data out. They're a set of paired drives, and paired as in they just have the same stuff dragged onto them. Nothing fancy. And
I mean, he probably got the hard drives back when they were still easy to get. This is also why I stick with older mechanical drives, because it's still possible to get them compared to RAM or hard drives nowadays.
then I have an identical one in another location. One's AMD, one is Intel. Half the drives are Toshiba's, half the drives are WD Reds. So if one...
I mean, he can obviously afford to have multiple setups, multiple everything. It's good for redundancy. I really do need to make backups of my backups, because pretty much what I have on my drives, I don't really have it backed up, which I know is not a good thing, but hoping it'll last long enough until I get even more hard drives.
motherboard's prone to failure, the other one will live. If one hard drive is prone to failure, the other one will live. And nothing's online. They're just hard drives encrypted in bays, and only I can get to them. Pretty good. Come on.
I mean, he's pretty much set.
Come on.
I think that's pretty top tier in terms of like just guaranteeing my
He has RAM.
data. But guaranteed, there's a heavy Linux user out there going, oh, well, you should have used a RAID of some kind. You should have done this. You could have done that. And that's my biggest gripe with Linux. It is so newbie unfriendly. I understand and respect that there are people in those groups who literally
Linux
run
time.
infrastructure that makes the entire planet work, right? The whole backbone is Linux. But if you're not interested in helping newbies, then just don't engage. I'm so lucky I've got good mates who do work with Linux professionally who've been able to help me out. Because anytime I've seen forums or groups, you just kind of get told that, you're an idiot. You should have known some stuff already before asking us. Use the search function. Never mind it.
I mean, I didn't know a lot of stuff when I started using macOS, but it just took time to get used to it.
17 different results for the same problem come up because Linux is this like hand-built experience at the moment with all different hardware. With my Linux Summer Games video, I knew I was going to get hounded for picking Bazite and choosing an experience where it was just click updates, play your game. That's it, like a console. I made sure to doink that. I'm doing it this way because this is what people actually want. No one likes terminal. No one likes troubleshooting. A truly great OS is one that you're not even realizing is happening in the background. But it does.
Very true. This is working super well in the background because it just works. You don't have to waste time on fixing it.
Doesn't matter. I just pissed off a whole bunch of hardcore Linux users, making Linux look bad. Or it's like, oh, you should have used Catchy OS. You should use Arch OS. You should have used Mint OS.
You should have used this. You should have used that.
Random OS. No one outside of the hardcore circles has ever heard of. Not that I'm going to get worked up about YouTube comments, but it really just does sell the scene where it's just like, the 1080 Ti didn't work. And there was like someone being like, oh, well, you're supposed to download and install a specific version of Bazite for that.
I mean, even with the problems that old macOS has, it is still way more user-friendly compared to something like that. You need a specific driver just for this GPU. I mean, yeah, there's also GPU things with old macOS, but...
You clearly didn't do that. You're not smart enough to do this. I'm sorry I didn't show all my homework. Like, there's an ARC one. That's
he has
a
the proof.
one. I've got a pair of those. What's that? AMD. Yeah, and there it is. That's the one. 900 and 1000 series.
Off topic, but there's actually an increase in fake USB drives now. You'd be lucky to even get a usable USB drive at this point.
NVIDIA stuff. And it actually is a little bit offensive because when you go and install Bazite, it steps you through. Okay, what do you have? All right, how are you doing it? Just basically being told that I can't follow baby steps, and that's why it didn't work. It isn't that Linux is still kind of terrible, which is fine because it's unconditionally free. You don't give any information out to download it, no money, no nothing. Google is not unconditionally free. You're the product, right? So by law and definition, Linux has to suck a little bit, but it's just the attitude. It's that I was being a regular customer, like the year of Linux is coming, not until all you do is just click go and play your game and
True.
Don't even think about Linux. My experience with Linux has been good because it's private and secure, but crappy because it's confusing and no one wants to help you. You're just told, you're an idiot. You can't
why didn't you do
yourself,
that?
You dumb moron. To the hardcore, don't you already have your version of Linux? Aren't you happy? Just leave us alone. Just let us casuals be.
I've heard some good things about the Intel GPUs.
A tech that I like on the follow-up of the Linux thing, mate, the B80, the numbers, and I also pumped to try one of these. Look, I got the OEM Intel one. They make crappy processors.
Back in the Core 2 Duo and the early i series, Intel was pretty solid.
Never gonna forgive you for wasting money on this thing. I did try and RMA it actually, but Intel is, they're dealing with an internal fire of some sorts. They kept cancelling it and restarting until I told them just to F themselves. And don't worry, I've already gone AMD and I'm not coming back. And all they were gonna do was send me another one anyway. A chip that is guaranteed to die.
Yeah, apparently some of these newer i9 whatever series have like, it was either overheating or something else going wrong with them. Not a problem when you're using Core 2 Duos. Okay, yes, heat is still a problem with Core 2 Duo, but probably not to this extent.
Thanks, Intel. But hey, graphically, this ran so good in Linux, it was just easy. And yeah, I did the same thing with all of them, where I just went update, did a reboot, update again, and it sung like an angel. These aren't hugely powerful. They're kind of like a 4060 if it was an NVIDIA thing. Plenty of VRAM, and it works. You just get stable computing. I've already put this in a proper case, so I can actually use it for a little bit. It doesn't do 4K.
5G.
Oh, this Netgear idiot. I don't even know what it's called anymore. My addresses don't have any internet going to them at all. Like, Australia is just a death zone for internet technologies, man.
So this is going to be reliant on cellular networks, and if this is on 24/7 with 5G connection, it's probably like long overcooked. This is probably deep fried.
And like, we had the NBN set up to go, and then idiots jumped in and changed it and just made it worse, and we're still dealing with it. No, it was 12 years ago. No, it was about 13 years ago that happened, and we're still dealing with it, right? Politics is no joke. This is a 5G modem
USB-C, Ethernet, and probably connections for the antenna
thing. You can actually put an antenna into it and Ethernet out. Install a proper antenna on the roof.
I mean, it doesn't look terrible.
Took the battery out, and there's a setting in here to be like no battery, you know, so you don't blow it up and expand it.
That's also a nice feature.
Ethernet out into like a proper network, and so all the Ethernet jacks in the building. And yeah, every 3 weeks it would just turn off. And so I'd come into work, there'd be no internet, reset this, and it's fine. And then that started to get worse and worse and worse. And then I had to investigate, pulled it apart.
Have you tried turning it on and off again?
And the SIM card inside of it was curly. That's how hot it was getting. Insanity! What? Insanity! And it never had a warning on reboot.
They could have at least installed a fan or something, like an optional cooling upgrade like that. If they knew this is going to be on for 24/7, considering, you know, it's designed for this, seems like it definitely could have helped out with keeping the temperatures down.
Saying, yo, bro, I got really hot. I was just using it like you're allowed to use it, and I got a year out of this. A year. $400 well spent.
So basically another subscription. Apparently even the Steam Deck itself is now sold out. They got rid of the LCD model.
It's still going so hard. I can't believe I've had it for over 2 years.
It's honestly weird to think how old the Steam Deck is now. Like, it still doesn't... Like, this is still like a brand new product, but it isn't, which is just weird.
And it's the reason why I'm into Linux, because of how good it was. I was even using it as a desktop. Like,
if it wasn't for the Proton emulation, it would still probably be like a mainly Windows-only oriented thing. At least for gaming.
Plugged in with a dongle into a monitor and keyboard and mouse. It's that damn good. And I can't wait for the Steam machine. I can't wait to get one. I'm gonna get one.
If they're gonna get released, that is.
And I think it's gonna be one of the greatest gaming machines of all time. Serious. How good that Steam Deck runs. I mean, the next bit of this video is going to be a laptop. Oh boy. The whole Linux Summer Games was all spawned by the fact that the laptop that you're going to see in a minute was running terribly and actually getting less performance than the Steam Deck in Linux.
What?
It's all about drivers and support. And I'm looking at how good this Steam
You're telling me that modern technology is terrible?
Deck is running. It's like, oh my gosh, what is it, like 5-10 times the power in the Steam machine? I'll take it. But I mean, like, the greatest portable gaming experience is clearly this. This thing changed my worldview. I don't look at the world the same anymore. I mean, all I do is play eggs. Bleb. Like, what? Bleb. It changed my life.
Truly egg moment.
So the final one is actually a bit of a big one. It was actually going to be its whole own video until it fit into this theme just so perfectly. So I heard you like DankPods, so I put DankPods in your DankPods.
Whoa.
This idiot's just a work machine. I don't have an undying love for this brand. I will happily deface this.
Oh, that's
Took your
where it
chomp
happened.
away. My relationship with this thing and Macs in general is people's relationship with Windows and gaming. I just want to edit videos without piles of troubleshooting or subscription fees. I've owned Final Cut for years, and
Yeah, going back to Final Cut, it just works.
I don't have to pay for it. And yes, I have tried Linux and DaVinci, and I think I've got a better chance at rebuilding the Saturn V rocket and flying to the moon myself. You folks using Windows, you just want the most out of your GPU, and Windows does it. But that's the thing, like, this isn't my personal laptop. My personal laptop is an Acer Nitro 5. I've had it for
Like, this is a solid construction for a laptop. It looks like something from the 2000s, basically. Is it as upgradable as one of those laptops? I mean, probably.
ages now. Because, that MacBook Pro, honestly, it's been fantastic. It's doing a great job. And I, for the first time in ages, don't need a new work machine. I am up for a new laptop. It's not an Apple thing, and I could go full-blown laptop shopping. And look, I gotta tell you, like, I've always wanted a maniacal spec gaming laptop.
I've seen this one before where it has like 2 GPUs inside. It's like the most overbuilt laptop.
Where it's like basically too big to take anywhere, and it's cringe. Like, it's embarrassing to sit anywhere with it. I have longed for this. And just like my Nitro 5, there's Black Friday sales. I saw it pop up and I had it. Well, I wound up with a Gigabyte Aorus Master.
Is it going to be garbage? Probably. Considering it's Slop Edition, this is probably going to be the worst laptop he's had.
It's the 16-inch version. I think there's an 18 or something. So there's some big reasons that I got this. It's got some specs in it that I was very interested in, but the main overreaching one is it was discounted by about $3,000.
What?
Even with that huge discount, this thing is still not worth it, which is another reason why I kind of wanted it, because it's a freak underneath here. I've really come to appreciate proper displays. If you want your computer to look better, but you don't buy a new graphics card, nothing, get a proper display. Like,
I think I'm good with my Dell LCD panels here.
OLEDs and high refresh rates. My goodness, it just lifts everything. This has a 240 hertz OLED, and my golly goodness.
That's pretty good for a laptop.
Looks like you could jump through it. It's so good. 32 gigs of DDR5, which I think is worth a house now.
I think you could probably buy multiple houses with that RAM now.
I couldn't get this machine again. It is like massively plastic build, right? But I don't care. I'm after the performance, and the processor in this thing is heck. And hiding inside of here is the fastest laptop graphics you can get. I mean, they call it a 5090, 50 being the series
5090 mobile edition? That's crazy.
90 meaning the fastest, even though it is way slower than the desktop 90.
Well, yeah, I mean, mobile obviously for power usage, but that's still crazy to see within 95 watts for the mobile edition.
They've been like that for some time. It really is just marketing. This is not a 5090. It's actually more like a desktop 5070, which is technically amazing if you look at how much power it uses. And I did say that I wanted something kind of embarrassing, kind of cringe, because that's the gaming laptop way. And like outwardly, this is not that big of a chunker. I mean, I could barely get it in the frame here. I mean, look, you can see it's got the ports. It's got.
Honestly, this is kind of like the mobile workstation that I have, the HP ZBook G3.
Ethernet, HoodMe, USB-C on both sides, and microSD.
The HP ZBook also has Thunderbolt, which is from 2016. So yeah, that laptop is still working flawlessly, but this is brand new and it's in this video.
Got your headphone, and they're like Thunderbolt 5, I believe, and you can put more storage in it, you can change the RAM out, like you can actually work on this thing. But it is covered in RGB, and the cringiest of all is that it'll pull out its own name out of the back. Yeah, look, here it is. That's so cringe. But oh no, where'd it go? Whoop! It shut off on me. We're gonna learn more about that in a minute. Okay, yeah, all right, that's something. All right, you can see like RGB keyboard.
Got the gaming keyboard.
The back's all razzle dazzle. But you notice there's nothing on the top and at the front. Like I'm showing the front. Okay, yeah, that's meant to be RGB and illuminated and do
and it
stuff.
Doesn't work.
And there is actually like an RGB strip at the front here that's meant to be lit up and doing stuff.
And it doesn't work.
This did work, and then within like 2 days, it would desync from the rest of the RGB. It was kind of doing its own thing. And then it would just show the same colors with no animation. And
how does it desync?
Now it doesn't work at all. And literally yesterday, this stopped working. This is like, I'm done giving you the light show. Is it a subscription fee? I mean, Gigabyte didn't tell me that like RGB runs out after a month. Maybe it does, I don't know. But whatever, this is just like the extra embarrassing crap on top. I really was looking for the performance and looking to lock in a high-powered laptop to live out of for next 5 or 6 years, honestly. And seeing where computer hardware is going, there might not be new computer hardware for a while. I'm sorry.
Maybe a very long while.
I can hear the fans running, you piece. So many times I've shut this down, put it in my bag, it's woken up on its own and tried to cook itself. This is new. It has not done this before. It's getting worse by the second. So yeah, like Linux wasn't running hot, and I don't blame Linux, right? You know, when you look at the Steam survey as like the most popular configurations, this is, as it turns out, one of the rarest pieces of gaming silicon there is. But with it finally running Windows 11, I was like, okay, look, let's see what this thing can do. There's software called 3D Mark. It's benchmarking software.
This is actually a pretty solid application to have. There's also some really old versions, like from even back in the 90s, where you can use it to test out period accurate hardware from that era.
Software. But the whole point of it is that you can't adjust the settings, you just run it. Even if it runs at 2 FPS, doesn't matter, you just run it, and then you can see how your computer runs compared to everyone else using the exact same hardware. No one's running anything unique, right? It's all NVIDIA, AMD, Intel. That's it. Well, I was pretty pumped with me 5090 monster laptop, fired up 3D Mark, and oh no.
What?
That's slow.
Not even 60 FPS for a brand new laptop like that?
Oh, God. But if you look closely, there's this little bump. There's like this little loser mountain that I'm sitting on. There's other people in my situation. I know with gaming laptops, it's super vague what you're actually getting. Just because it says 5090 laptop, you know, there could be different SKUs that have different power limits. The power supply that came with this is 330 watts.
I've seen some gaming laptops go to 150. I believe I even have some 150 watt power supplies for Dell and HP, but 330 is just a whole, that's like 2 power supplies in one.
Is that the small one? Is this literally like an underpowered, like slowed down, but doesn't run as hot version of a 5090? Because I'm telling you, I tried full reinstalls, waited for new drivers. I mean, this thing came out nearly a year ago. Surely the bugs are ironed out. Then something that happened was it started running really slowly. And holy stink,
14.8 FPS?
It just started crawling, and as you can see, it's recognizing the 5090 GPU because there's Intel graphics in here as well. And I've made sure to go into the BIOS and tell it discrete graphics only. Don't use the slow power efficient graphics. Not same extra low score.
And it doesn't
and then
work.
Even better, it stopped attempting them.
What?
Fresh Windows 11 install, a genuine copy of Windows 11, newest drivers, everything. At this point, I couldn't even get Bazite to reinstall on it. It's a complete mess. Something's up in it, man. And look, the OLED does look gorgeous.
There's only so much the OLED can help out with the laptop, considering it doesn't work.
It's very reflective though, which completely revealed a vicious flaw. Here's my MacBook Pro screen reflecting the fluoros on my roof, and you can see there's like
Pretty solid for a genuine Apple display.
a slight bow to it. It's not perfectly flat, doesn't have to be. Here's the Aorus Master.
What?
This is a premium laptop. Look at this mess. If you catch like a bad glare on the screen while you're using it, it's like a clown mirror. It's incredible.
That display is cooked.
Like, what kind of standards are they working with here? So it's very expensive, slow, potentially fragile, and built terribly. And actually completely broken. All these issues I'm having, they're on top of one big glaring one. I noticed that the battery was always flat anytime I grabbed it. That's very typical of Windows and just PC laptops. So,
After all this time, it still doesn't go into sleep mode.
oh, I better just leave it plugged in so, you know, I can actually just use it straight away. It was getting flat even plugged in. The charging hole is completely carbonculated. Yes, you can charge it down USB-C ports if you want the slowest charging you've...
Remember, it's a brand new laptop. I have ancient laptops which are still in better condition than this.
Not actually quite enough to look at the Windows desktop or even browse files while charging. But without that stinky plug, you can't use the graphics card on this thing. That's the power supply for the graphics, basically. All 330 watts of that thing. I can get it to charge if I hold it in a funny way and like wrangle it down.
You shouldn't have these issues with a laptop like this.
But that's like keeping your boat afloat with duct tape. You're just sinking slower. You haven't fixed it. There's something wrong with the connector.
Basically.
And like reefing on it and bending on it. That's just going to accelerate it. It's now a ticking time bomb to where I can't even use it for what I wanted it for. So literally right now, I'm going to take this and put it in its box, and I'm going to head to the store that I got it from because I'm so glad I didn't buy it online. I had to go in and pick it up from a brick and mortar store. I'm going to head straight back there. We have really good consumer law here in Australia. I'm really hoping that I can dump this thing and not have it anymore.
It's not even like something where you could just literal e-waste where you just get rid of it, because this was still a brand new laptop.
Charger, the performance, and then that frickin' screen. This thing is an abomination. See you in a bit. I'm literally going there right now. Yeah, look, it's been about a month, and thankfully I got refunded. Oh man,
well, that's
what
good.
A bad machine. So bad, and that's so typical. Most of the stuff that I'm enjoying tech-wise is older stuff, or stuff made by the smaller players. Man,
always use the old tech, because at this point, it's all just becoming slop.
man, that thing was so crap, from the screen, the performance, and it was dying on me. Can you believe that screen got past their quality control? Oh, and I'm loving CDs. CDs are amazing. I don't use any
That as well as iTunes.
subscription nothings anymore, from DVDs to Blu-rays to CDs. Scotland the brave. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Huge thanks to these stinky names right here. They're my biggest $10 float planners. Thank you so much. There's no ads. There's none of that. You folks help out so much in these times where no one has any stinking money. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's float plane, as I've said. All my extra stuff's there. And there's dingusland.fun. If you want to waste time, you could head there.
Oh yeah, he has that 90s inspired website.
And you know, Matt, I'll see you next time.
And of course he has the mandatory outro here. And yeah, this was a pretty solid video. Be sure to go ahead and check it out yourself. Still weird to see the iPad case without the chomp, but I guess this is part of the lore now. Yeah, what else can I say? He made a lot of solid points. It's like, why bother with all of this online nonsense when you can just have a local system 5, 10, 15 years down the line? If the hardware itself is still in functional shape, like the power supply, the chipset, everything is still working, then the software is still going to work as well, because if it's offline, there's no updates to break anything. And it's exactly why I really do enjoy using old macOS, because I don't have to worry about any updates breaking anything. I know that there is a limit in terms of compatibility with newer devices, at least with macOS Lion here, but I do also have other systems running newer macOS, so that's not a big deal anyways, because I can just use that as well. Now, of course, updates were supposed to be something good and useful, and in fact, software updates still works on old macOS here. The whole point of the update is to improve the system itself, improve reliability, make it better overall. Ever since, like he said, during the Windows 7 era to Windows 10, it just all started to go downhill. Now, Apple itself has held out at least far longer, but if it goes with the Creator Studio route, then, well, let's just say I'm glad that I get to use these old systems all the time. It seems like it's always about upgrading a new system, upgrading the OS, but that used to be the case back then when it was actually worthwhile. Nowadays, it's honestly worth downgrading, because at least you know that the hardware and the software will actually work in the first place. If I had to make this entire setup on a new Mac, I'm sure I could get it to work. Applications such as Line In, which allow you to change audio inputs, I'm sure there's probably like a paid version of it for new macOS, but with this, it just opens. It just works. And it's also getting to the point where you can now have hardware subscriptions, which is just why. Anyways, that's going to wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed this reaction to Slop Time, then consider leaving a thumbs up. And if you want to see even more reaction videos, then consider subscribing. I'm also interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. Leave a comment down below. But that's it for now. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.